TJ Murphy, what did you ask?
TJ Murphy, 7. What is your ultimate goal / biggest dream?
Ultimate goal, biggest dream is to put out music. I think I'm living it, to be honest, which is really cool to say. That was really anyway. Ultimate goal is to basically put out music, put out a successful album, tour with that music, and bring, I guess, kind of build a brand or build a community around, the people that I think are really talented and really respect, and kind of, beyond that, just, support myself. And I want to get to a place like Teddy Swims, where, it's worth it for people to be invested in a project that involves me. Because like Teddy has a team. So like Teddy says, we're doing this tour. The people are there. They can't wait because Teddy's at a place financially and with a label where he's got budget, where he can, put his friends are all on salary, and that's who he hires as his friends. It's not, Steve who's recommended because of X. It's no, this is my best friend and he's great at what he does. And if I can pay him to do what he's great at, then no one else should have him. So I love that. So I want to build, I guess, a community or a brand or business where I could be working with my friends and the people who I think are really talented. And then beyond that, I'd love to be on SNL at some point. I love Lenny Pickett. I love that music.
Lenny
I love
Pickett
that.
mentioned you. We've said this a million times.
I know.
You mentioned it on Instagram, but when I interviewed Lenny, sweetest guy in the whole world.
Lenny's the best.
I found his email. I'm not going to tell you exactly where because I don't want.
Didn't I give you it?
No, I found it. No, I found his email on a forum. That it was like a small. It wasn't Reddit. It was literally like a small time forum.
Yeah.
And I just that's how I found a lot of people's emails. To be honest, I just searched them up, and it was like, do you have so-and-so's email? And then I would type in like forum and just see if there's forums discussing it. Someone had posted it like, oh, I need a sax player in New York City. And they were like, call the sax player. And there was no, how did you get my email? There was no blah, blah, blah. No, he was just like, I like what you do. Yeah, let's do it. And then I was like, how about like 4 days from now? He's perfect. I have time off from SNL. We have a week off or something. It was Lenny's beginning of January. So it must have been the last time. Wow.
Lenny's the coolest guy. He's an amazing player. But I would love to like play on SNL and then also like be in skits too. That'd be fun.
That would be awesome. I'm a massive SNL fan, and I've been able to interview like a few people from there. The director, my boy Wally, the cue card guy.
Yes, and guys, search it. Like literally, check out
some of the nicest guys ever.
Check out the Vibe Chamber and listen to the like if you're interested in SNL and stuff.
How many takes do you need for your sax solo when making a post?
Sometimes it's.
We had said it was like 40 for the last one.
Yeah, the last one was like 40, but I've had one where it was like 100 something.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
I mean, I believe it, but
yeah. And there's times where it's 100 something and the 100th take is like great. And I'm like, okay, finally. And there's other times where it's 100 takes and then take like 20 was like, wow, that was perfect. And then that ends up being like a good video. But then there's other times where it's like first or second take.
You have knocked it out quickly.
Yeah, there's times where I just like go bang and it happens. There's other times where I just get frustrated or it's not happening or maybe in the wrong mindset and it's just not gonna happen.
Gotcha.
So it depends.
Next one is favorite musician by Tats _KHH.
These usernames are great.
Very hard to read.
Favorite musician. I'm gonna go through like musicians and artists. I'm gonna kind of hit all of them.
Knock them out.
Saxophone player that I've been loving a lot recently is Steve Cortiga, I believe. I hope I'm pronouncing that right.
Know.
Awesome saxophone player. He plays at Las Vegas a bunch. He plays with Lady Gaga a bunch and Tony Bennett. And like every solo that he plays especially for the Lady Gaga and Tony Bennett stuff is perfect. Perfect. So Steve, I love Chad Lefkowitz Brown. I'm gonna go through sax players and then like I guess pop or singers like that. Steve Cortiga, Chad Lefkowitz Brown. I listen to a lot of Braxton Cook, Grace Kelly, Leo P. I'm trying to think. Lenny Pickett is amazing. Richie Cannata is amazing. Michael Brecker is my favorite saxophone player of all time. He's the best at being a chameleon. He could play. You could always tell it was him, but he could play something really out for like a really out thing, or he could play something really, really in for
And
a
you're
pop
still
gig.
like, this is
This is amazing.
But it's
and
also perfect.
Yeah, and I can tell that this is Michael. Ed Kaye, I think, is one of the greatest saxophone players alive right now. You're good.
Who's next one?
It's still in focus?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is.
Ed Kaye, I think, is one of the greatest saxophone players around right now. Not a lot of people know him. That's Ed, Calle. Now, beyond saxophone players, I love Alan Stone is one of my favorite singers, songwriters. Teddy Swims, same exact thing, is one of my favorite singers. Great person, great singer. Amy Winehouse is like she's the best. Songwriter, singer, all that.
Mm-hmm.
She's amazing. And that was actually one of my biggest goals, which is kind of sad. Mm-hmm. Her music and her vibe was like, I would love to have been able to play like for something with her or something, but you know, that's unfortunate. Frank Sinatra, Whitney Houston, no one delivered a song like those people.
Yeah. I get that. I agree with that.
They're my favorite.
How much do you get paid by Banu _ Prasad _ 20?
It all depends. I mean, there's some jobs which pay really well. That, you know, I love to do these and I want to do these. There's some jobs that it's not my favorite thing in the world, but I'll do them and they pay really well. And then there's jobs that I hate that pay well. And then there's things that I love that don't pay well. So it all depends. As a freelance or a musician or artist, you got to be doing 1,000 things. Some of them pay great. Sure. You could do a wedding that pays really well. You can sell mouthpieces. You can have an endorsement deal. But if you're not focused on doing 1,000 things, nothing's going to pay well.
Yep.
Like you have to be doing everything.
You have to keep your eyes, you have to be constantly just going.
Yeah, constantly like, okay, gigs, sure. Advertisements when they fit my brand. I'm not going to give up my whole thing just to make, you know, whatever.
Don't like weaken the structure of your, don't weaken your integrity just for a quick buck.
No, that's the biggest no. But
people who do that don't last.
No, they don't last because then they become like sellouts and
people want to trust you. That's a big thing.
You got to actually love that product.
What is your solo writing process?
Every time I go to play a solo, I think like a singer. The first thing I play is something that I want. Like, let's say I was doing a concert and I were to go, da, 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 da. I want to be able to turn the mic around to the audience. Exactly. I want that to happen. So, the goal, good work. Audience participation.
That's my wasted potential. Being able to sing,
being an audience.
In tune. I'm the person who watches the cool person. I mean, hey, depending on what happens in the next couple of days, it might be possible. That might be what happens.
That might be what you do. But my goal is always thinking like a singer. What is a melody I can play or something that I can do that people will remember and will be able to sing back? Accentuate that a couple times and kind of divert from it. So there's sometimes where I'll do a couple takes and like by the third take, maybe the second half was bad, but I was like, oh, what I played in the beginning was really cool. And then I'll start my fourth take with what I played in the third take and try to play something cool after it. So
gotcha.
That's kind of that.